Hello, everyone. Thanks for listening to Wake Up, Look Up, a podcast where we connect events happening in real time to the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm Zach Wyrock. And in this episode, we're talking about Biden's conclusion. We're asking the question, will we give up the keys? President Biden recently announced that he will not seek re-election in what was a seismic shift in the political landscape of the United States. It's now being lauded as a selfless decision, a courageous decision, one that put the country ahead of his own personal interests. I don't know about you, but that rings a little hollow to me. It was just 3 weeks ago that President Biden said that the Lord Almighty would have to tell him not to run again, that it would basically take heaven and earth to keep him from seeking re-election. The truth is that President Biden had raged against anyone who had told him that he needed to step down. He had missed the opportunity to make a decision for the country and instead is now responding to the political landscape that has shifted, that has seen even his closest allies lose support for him running for re-election. The truth is, he read the writing on the wall, and what is now happening is a decision is being made to look heroic when really it is simply expedient. You see, months ago, President Biden could have done the heroic thing. He could have said that because of his age or his health or whatever reason he wanted to give, it was best for the country if he gave the country a lot of time to think through who they wanted the Democratic nominee to be and who they wanted ultimately to be president. He could have said, hey, look, I probably could run for president, but I'm not sure that I'm the best the country can do in my present state. And so because I love America more than myself, I'm not going to run. But he didn't do that. He fought and he pushed until it simply became unnecessary for him to pretend that he could do it anymore. The reality is that we had to take the keys away from President Biden, if you'll pardon the metaphor. He didn't give them up. Now, listen, this is not a political podcast, and I'm not commenting necessarily on President Biden's leadership. I'm more so talking about the human element here. A couple weeks ago, we did an episode where we said in a culture of individual autonomy, it's really hard to ask somebody to self-sacrifice. We've been told our entire lives that life is about us. Now we're seeing that on a generational scale, because what President Biden is being asked to do isn't just to give up the role of president. He's being asked to step aside, to become in some ways irrelevant so that the generation after him can lead. And that isn't easy. It isn't easy when you're president. It isn't easy when you're a parent or grandparent. It isn't easy when you're giving up the family company. It isn't easy in the church world where you're undergoing a transition of leadership. The reality is that each of us need to realize that this day is coming for us as well. That whatever role or sphere of influence we operate in now, whether it's teacher, coach, parent, pastor, one day that will not be our role anymore. And most of us, that won't come suddenly. It'll come through a series of opportunities where we're being asked to think about either what's best for us or what's best for the people that we serve. And in those moments, we're not just going to define how we transition, we're going to define how we're remembered. We're going to define the legacy of transition that we give to the generation after us. And what's also going to be on display is whether our leadership was really about the people we were leading or whether it was about us all along. Of course, as Christians, we know that our leader, Jesus Christ, God's Son, our King, told us that greater love has no one than this, that he laid down his life for his friends. Jesus models leadership for us that is about those you're serving more so than yourself. It led Jesus to the cross. It will lead us to similar patterns of sacrifice, of elevating those we're called to love and care for and support more than ourselves. What an opportunity we have as Christians and as a church to do this well. It's one of the major reasons I'm at Christ Community Chapel, because there's a legacy of just that kind of transition here as Pastor Jim gave way to Pastor Joe, and now Pastor Joe has been mentoring me to step into his role moving forward. What a legacy that is, because at each generation, our lead pastor has said, hey, it isn't about me. It's about Jesus and it's about the church. May we do the same in our families and companies and spheres of influence to the glory of God and the good of those we serve. The kingdom is multi-generational. Our role in it is small, meaningful, but ultimately not lasting. Let's be more about the kingdom than we are about ourselves. Let's just not just learn from President Biden, but let's put into practice what unfortunately he didn't do. Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Wake Up, Look Up. While you're here, make sure you click like and subscribe so you get future content from Wake Up, Look Up. And hey, leave a comment below letting us know what you thought or interacting in some way with what you just watched. I'd love a chance to talk with you more in the comment section. And also, while you're here, check out all the other content CCC puts out, including the videos that are around me right now.